I don't know, but I feel like right now it's very hard to buy anything right now.
Yeah.
But then everyone feels the same, which means now is exactly the best time to buy. So.
Right. Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Debrief podcast, the podcast about all things cryptocurrency. So the topic for today, I think, is a little bit obvious. It's news that has been kind of surrounding everyone's top of mind awareness at the moment, which is the conflict and war that's happening in Ukraine. It's not lost upon us, and I mentioned this in the other episode of like what's happening as well. It's not lost upon us that the fact that we get to talk about crypto and that we're comfortable here is really a privilege. But also we know of many people in the community who are a bit stressed out, a little bit worried about what all the conflict really means for the markets because they've invested a lot of money in it. And so we thought we'd spend a bit of time talking about it to help shed some light about how this may affect the markets, our thoughts, and also what we've done with our portfolios given the news.
The exchange only take Bitcoin and other favorite cryptocurrency.
So if you've been living under a rock and didn't realize, I'm sure most of you do, Russia last week invaded Ukraine to a lot of bloodshed and turmoil, and it has obviously affected a lot of different things, right? People are a little bit more risk averse in this time and age. People are also bracing for inflation. I think like a lot of people who went out to pump petrol would have seen that petrol prices have already like
went
gone
up a bit.
And so
in Singapore though, did it went up?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
And so people are already feeling the effects of it lah.
Yeah.
And this is going to carry on through like goods and services. So as people's cost of production is going to increase, as energy prices go up.
Do you follow the update of what's happening in the whole war thing right now? Where are they right now? Because I read like, there are talks about peace talks already. But I also read about nuclear weapons.
Yeah, so as of about yesterday, but we were filming this a day before, right? So yesterday, Putin put his nuclear weapons on high alert, which basically means that he's preparing the weapons. Yeah. And so NATO, the US, UK have all like condemned this, even though it could just be a threat. There is no saying like he's so unpredictable right now, right? Yeah. And I think another thing that could spark his unpredictability is that there are more and more sanctions that are coming in, and one of which is the SWIFT banking standard. Okay. Initially, they didn't want to do it, but I think the Western countries have now agreed to impose a SWIFT ban on Russia, which even Russia themselves acknowledge would really send their currency into a decline. They won't be able to transact anything with anyone around the world. So like majority of their revenues, like 40% of revenues come from gas exports, right? And they get their payments from like SWIFT, right? Yeah. So if you cut them off, they really are out. Right. And so
which means businesses around the world will not be able to pay Russia for their goods lah.
Yeah, Russian companies or even like state-owned companies, etc. Can't pay, and then if they're in war, so they're going to need like resources and things like that. They won't be able to buy anything from other countries also. Right. In a sense, even like Russian-friendly countries, right? So a lot of people suggest that by doing this, you're going to make them even more unpredictable and erratic, and you don't know what they may do in retaliation in that sense lah. But something that's a little bit more crypto related is that if they can't transact using SWIFT, Russia may actually opt to use cryptocurrencies because it's actually it's quite popular. Yes. Also in Russia already, right? Given that Ethereum founder is from Russia, so who has condemned the war? He has condemned the war himself. So like if Russia do end up using cryptocurrencies to transact, it's not hard for me to see a possibility where Western forces become very against crypto in that sense, or like be a little bit more aggressive towards it so that they make sure that Russia really can't transact with the world. Do you see that as a risk?
I don't think that the Western forces actually is going to rely or do something to the world crypto or change their stance on crypto just to get back to Russia lah. Yeah. I feel like I don't see that as a very big change that US or whatever is gonna say like, okay, we're gonna stop crypto right now, we're gonna stop blockchain right now because we're gonna stop Russia from cut them off from the rest of the world. Yeah. Yeah. What's the state of like regulation in Russia right now with regards to like blockchain and crypto?
I mean, I'm unfamiliar with the specifics of it, but I think generally crypto is allowed lah at the moment.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I think the flip side to the argument is that while blockchain may enable Russia to still transact with the world, we've actually seen the good side of it, which is that Ukraine has been asking for donations.
Yes.
And they've been asking for it via BTC and ETH. And as of today, they've actually raised $10 million US.
Oh wow!
So like $16 million in general, as a whole, $10 million US from cryptocurrencies alone.
Got it.
And the good thing is that I think on Twitter, an official Ukraine account tweeted like the addresses. Vitalik then said, hey guys, make sure that you verify everything. And then he verified that these were the correct addresses. And then after that, everyone started sending in their donations.
Right.
And it happened so quickly.
Vitalik actually says that this is the official address that you should send to.
Yeah, I mean, he was telling everyone, wait, just hold up first, make sure that you verify everything. And then I think he spoke to one of the officials and then they all agreed, okay, this is the correct
address.
Yeah, so he tried it and it's all fine.
Yeah.
So this was a great way, like I think it was quite a great advocacy for Bitcoin and Ethereum in the world stage.
Yeah.
I would say.
So actually that's good news for cryptocurrency.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah. So I think, right now, there's actual use cases around the world. And I think those that has managed to, all those that did the donation, right?
Yeah.
I think they'll be like, oh, okay, actually this is a much more efficient, transparent way. So this is actually very good news.
Yeah, I would think so also.
Yeah.
And hopefully the world sees this and also takes note and go, okay lah, like cryptocurrencies aren't the bad thing that people always like say, right? Like I think a lot of opponents to cryptocurrencies always like to say that, oh, it helps to fund like criminal activity, or that's where like criminal activity takes place. But actually, in actual fact, there was a leak that came out that showed that it was traditional finance
that was funding all of the
funding
shit.
criminal activity more than cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
And I think more good PR such as this will help the case. Like in fact, 1.6 million of that 16 million was funded via an NFT sale. And the NFT sale was initially meant to raise funds for the WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, and then after that they used it for Ukraine instead, because it was a more like urgent cause lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's quite good. But again, like the whole invasion happened and then crypto prices completely tanked, right? I remember looking at my portfolio and I just laughed because I just saw like a vertical line. Immediately, I remember it was like
new low. Yeah. I remember also. So like when the war was like, I think the news went out and said like, oh, the war was happening, and then there's like the crash came.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember posting this on the community, the Chain Debrief community chat, right? I said, guys, my portfolio new lows, yeah. Yeah. So it's damn shag. It's really damn shag.
There was someone in the community also that said, "Well, better prepare bullets." And after he said, "Hey, wait, no, I mean money, like not that bullets." Oh no, this is a strange way of saying this.
Yeah.
Which I mean, again, like we understand what's going on in the world, and like it's really damn shag. But I guess this is one of those instances where people look at their accounts in the red and then kind of can step back and look at the world with a bit more perspective and go, okay, this is not the worst thing in the world because there's really people, like it's a matter of life and death, and here I am worrying about
happening.
Money. Yeah. But I think what was quite interesting was a lot of Twitter influencers were posting the same graph on and on, which was basically the historic performance of markets during past like crises or wars, right? And it always turns out that the low always happens at just before the invasion. So when there's news of invasion, and then when there is the invasion takes place, that's when it's lowest, and then it usually bounces back after that. Yeah. So there was this whole movement of like called buy the invasion. Yeah. Which I thought was quite interesting, and I didn't really notice before that. Did you also kind of like know about that beforehand?
Yes. I mean, there's a saying: buy the news, sell
buy the rumor, right?
Buy the rumor, sell the news. Oh my god. Yeah. So, I think if you look at the price action over the last couple of days, right, the whole invasion has already been priced in already, because everyone almost expect that it's gonna happen already. And then everyone was like selling off, and those that want to sell would have sold off already. So when it really happened, right, I think it crashed a little bit and then it rebounded very quickly. Yep. I think the rebound was also because there were talks of like there were peace talks, and then like people were like saying like this is 2022 already. War is a very it's old news already.
Yeah, it's so far behind us.
Yeah, who is still doing wars, right? And the rebound came. But for me, I didn't really time it. So I don't trade. And I mean, ideally, I would have bought more when the full crash came, right? And then rightfully it went up, but I didn't do anything. Do you do anything?
So wait, so in terms of your portfolio, you didn't make any changes whatsoever?
Over the last 1 month, 2 months, when it was crashing, everything was going down, right? I didn't do anything. I never sell. I never buy anything also.
Any regrets?
No, I don't think I did regret, because I mean, I asked myself, what would I have done differently? Would I have bought more? But I don't know how far it will drop.
Yeah.
I think it might drop another 10-20%, which was the point of the low, right? I would have deployed some of my stable coins, but I need some capital in the real life. So I didn't really spend my stable coin.
Yeah. I think the dilemma now that a lot of people have, right, is that do I liquidate, because if there's an anticipation for like an inflation, right, again like petrol prices already went up like almost like 1-2 days after, then do I actually want to be holding cash at the moment because I anticipate spending more? My immediate reaction to it was that I tried to on-ramp.
Yeah.
It took too long. By the time the money went in, like
rebound out already.
God,
they never use Anchor Protocol?
I do, but I didn't want to touch it.
Got it.
Yeah. I should have probably deployed my stable coins.
Because the Anchor Protocol, the borrow rate is actually positive right now. They're paying you to borrow money.
To borrow, yes.
Yeah, because it was a long period of time. It was slightly negative, like negative 0.70% or negative 1%. So you still need to pay money to borrow. But now it's like positive 5-6%. So they're paying you to borrow money.
They pay you in the Anchor
tokens. Yeah.
That's something that we spoke about in like a previous episode.
Yeah. So you should look at Anchor.
Okay.
So actually, Luna went up a lot.
Yeah.
So I actually did something. Sorry, I so my available amount to borrow went up because my collateral value on Anchor increased, right?
Because Luna went up.
Right? Yeah. And then I actually borrowed more UST to farm Anchor Protocol.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the only thing I did lah. But it was just stable coin lah, more stable coin lah.
Okay. Speaking of which, like you touched upon like Luna going up. That was quite big.
Oh yeah. So over the
on.
last 2 to 3 weeks, right? Luna is the best performing coin in the top 100 coin in the whole crypto market.
Yeah.
I think it's the 1 or 2 weeks return was like almost 50%.
Yeah. Wow.
Crazy. So it went down to a low of like $40+. I think right now it's at $70+ already.
$75 the last time I checked it. Yeah.
But dropped a bit already. Yeah, but very good news for the whole Luna ecosystem, Lunatics as well. Very good news.
Were there any like particular indications of why you think it went up?
Well, actually, I'm not too sure, but I think a lot of it is there was a very big news recently on Luna. So they raised, there was a foundation, Luna Foundation, right? They call it LFG, Luna Foundation Guard. So they basically had Luna as their reserve, right? They sold their Luna into Bitcoin. And then they use the $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, right, to basically act as a reserve to back UST. So I think this is very, very good news because like new investors who supported the $1 billion purchase, right, they're vested to see that UST continues their peg mechanism and continue to be the de facto decentralized stablecoin.
Yep.
And with that, they give a lot of like reassurance to a lot of people that a lot of people are incentivized to make sure that Luna and UST maintains its usage, utility, and its peg lah. So this is very, very good news for everyone, and I think that sort of like brings back a lot of like confidence to the whole ecosystem. Because there was a period of time, I think 1 month ago, Anchor's reserve was sort of like dipping. So Anchor Protocol is actually running out of money because there were more people using it to earn the yield rather than to borrow it to do other stuff lah. But the good thing is that Terra actually top up the reserve, which basically then the party continues lah. Right? Right, the party continues, right? So that's one thing. And then price were very shaky at one point. So the whole $1 billion raise was a very huge vote of confidence from very high profile investors. So 3 Arrow Capital, Defiance they came in to support the round as well. And I think that gave a lot of confidence to investors. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, bringing it back to like the whole like conflict that's going on in like Ukraine and Russia, right? Like, do you foresee if there's news that nuclear weapons? I think if it's nuclear weapons, definitely the markets are going to go crazy. But if there's going to be more news of like further invasions or inroads that Russia's going to make to Ukraine, do you foresee like the markets tanking again, or is it going to kind of stabilize because the invasions has already happened?
I feel like we are going to see downwards sideways movement right now.
Okay.
Like if I look at my portfolio, right, it's a perfect W. You know, if I could just time it and I just, you know, sell and after that buy back again, right, I would have flipped 3-4 times.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly at the, you know, the
peak and the trough.
the resistance and support.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would have flipped like 3-4 times, but then I asked myself, would I do it or not? Because, you know, when it rebounded, right, I was thinking maybe I should just sell right now and wait for it to go down and then buy again, right? But I'm just trading, right? But what if the rebound come back very intense and I missed it?
Yeah.
You know? So
it's so hard to predict the future also, because if like you're looking at a 24-hour, 7-day chart, right?
yeah.
It's so hard to see whether you zoom out, whether this is going up or down. It's
Yeah.
really hard to tell. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like it's, you know, so I never really do anything because I'm not very sure, to be completely honest with you, right?
Yep.
Long term, I'm still bullish. That's why I never sold anything. But I'm not confident in buying right now because I feel like there's a lot of pressure to push down the whole, not just crypto lah, equities, everything around the world, right? It's so shaky right now, you know, like the whole US thing and then after that, the whole war thing. So,
there's a lot of downward pressure.
A lot of downward pressures and like, I don't know. I think if they announce that there's going to be war, right? There's going to be nuclear war, right? Actually, I cannot imagine that happening.
It feels really far-fetched. Like, it's just so hard to imagine. But then again, that's what a lot of people said about Russia invading Ukraine.
Yeah.
That it's just a threat, it's not going to happen. And then it really did.
Yeah, so I don't know. But I feel like right now it's very hard to buy anything right now.
Yeah.
But then everyone feels the same, which means now is exactly the best time to buy. So,
right.
I don't know. But actually, I told myself in the next couple months, I will start buying already.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we are almost, those that want to sell would have sold already. It's what I'm thinking right now. Yeah, so I think almost time for me to buy soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting news that I will also take into account.
Yeah.
In consideration. I think for me, like it's similar to something that you mentioned at the start of this podcast, right? Which is that we're not traders. We're not like short-term traders. We are long-term, high conviction holders. It's just that if there's opportunities to make a little bit or to flip, we'll take that opportunity.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we missed a big opportunity.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, then we are holding. It's not that we're selling. We're looking for more opportunities to buy.
Yeah. I think the only thing that you should do right now, you can do right now, is that I mean, DCA lor. So that's one. Second is that farm stable coins.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm farming the UST lor. So the best way is basically I have Luna. I'm keeping it for very, very long. I mean, there's a price target that I'm aiming for lah. But before it reaches that price target for me, I'm just locking it up on Anchor Protocol, borrow UST for now 5-6%. On top of that, I use the borrowed UST to earn another 19% in Anchor, and then that's what I'm doing right now lah. My other holdings, most of it I'm also farming on other chains. So like for my FTM, I'm farming a little bit.
Okay.
Metis, I haven't really moved to the Android network. It's Android network. I can't remember already. So it's all it's all on my MetaMask wallet right now, sitting there. I think rotting. But it's a bit lazy. I'm a bit lazy to like optimize it right now, to be quite honest. So that's that lah. So my 3 holdings, I'm just farming right now.
Okay. Yeah. If the markets do become favorable to buy, what's the first thing you're gonna buy?
Oh, double down on whatever I have. So I'm trying to focus on my key portfolio and key
Metis,
positioning.
FTM, and
right now it's just Metis and FTM, and then I'll try to like, you know, degen a little bit more on all the other lower cap stuff, which crashed a lot already. Like some of the stuff that I mentioned in the previous episodes, I still hold all of them.
Okay.
So I might buy in a bit. A lot of it is down like 50%, 70%. So I might go back and like pick up some stuff lah.
Yeah.
Okay,
none of this is financial advice, by the way.
None of it is financial advice.
If you actually follow, you'll be down 50%.
Damn shit. Yeah. So I mean, to answer, what would I buy right now? I think I'll average into my core positions.
Yeah.
So my core positions makes up about 80+%
of your entire portfolio.
Of my entire portfolio. The rest are all those interesting projects that I'm invested in. So I might pick up a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think for me it was FTM. I think as I was waiting the on-ramp, I kept looking at FTM at 1.2, 1.3, 1.2, 1.3. I was like, come on, where's my money?
Yeah.
And that was probably the one that was going
Now
to
it's
enter.
1. What?
I think we went back to 1.8, 1.7.
No lah, I think 1.6. I think.
The last I checked yesterday was 1.7.
Okay.
And then, but it's probably 1.6 now lah.
But dude, it's so low. Like
It's still low.
It's so low. Like
My
the
average
high
price
was
is
like 3. I think.
Yeah, my average price is like 2.4. So
Okay.
even if I buy now, I'm still lowering my average,
Yeah.
which is fine. It was just, that sadness of like you missed the dip and then like, is it going to go back down?
Yeah.
Because of all the uncertainty. But it's okay. I think we've given quite a lot of key takeaways. And I think the most important thing also, like you mentioned, is to DCA the coins that you have high conviction in anyway. Because when you DCA, you buy more when prices are low and you buy less when prices are high. And also farm stable coins.
Farm
It's a
stable coins.
Great defensive strategy
Yep.
at times like this. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of the Chain Debrief podcast. If you like what you watch, remember to like this video and also subscribe to our channels. Also, check out our communities on Telegram. There's all the links down below. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.